I am sure sports. You know me there, I'm coach to coach representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment. Let me know what your thoughts are.
Trick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices, add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce. Or topping. Trick Nick Jerk.
Good night, everyone. Good night. I am your host tonight for today's program, Stan Kronke, and as usual, I'm stepping in the seat of the great Omar Stennett, alias Manning's Man. And this is the I Am Sure Sports program. We have a special treat for you tonight. So we're going to talk a little bit, subsequent to my first topic, about the Trinidad USA game, but it won't be the first topic of discussion, since I know Andre, my guest, who is on screen, may not be enjoying the night. So we don't want to spoil his night. We're going to have some fun first talking to two of the youngest members of the Reggae Boys squad, who will join us in 2 seconds. And they have made a decision to play for the Jamaican national team, which we truly appreciate them aligning with their lineage and decided to play for us. So it should be a good discussion. We're going to talk through their history, their footballing history, experiences, what they've done, and more importantly, where they're going. Andre, good night. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Stan Kronke. I'm doing good. Couldn't be better at the moment.
Well, you mean at this very moment, because at 9:05, I'm going to predict things may not be as good.
Well, I'm not going to let that. I'm not going to let football matches dictate my my mood, unless I'm coaching. Unless I'm coaching.
Right. Okay. So I would say good night to some of the regulars in the stream: Duckland, Ricardo, Rob Smith. I'm sure there are many more as people are starting to join us. But without further ado, let me bring in my our guests for the evening, because I'm sure they're probably pretty busy. They probably have a long day. So let's bring them in. Good night, gentlemen. Good night. How are you doing?
Good,
Can you hear us?
Good. How are you? Yeah.
Yeah, your Wi-Fi is like Manny's Man Wi-Fi. It's not working great, but we're gonna work through it tonight.
Oh, it's bad.
So we have with us tonight K. Roy Anderson, who's on the left, because I think I know Dexter. I've seen Dexter quite a bit before, and Dexter Lambakisi, who's on the right. And they're two of the young. You probably two are the youngest members of the squad currently, because Whisper is not here. So I assume you two are the youngest. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's great to have you. I'm here with Andre Fortune, who actually has two sons who play professional football. I know one of them was in the U.S. under 15, and he plays for. And he also both plays for, born in the U.S. but plays for Trinidad. So similar to what you two have done, which is born in the U.K. playing for Jamaica, his sons were born in the U.S. playing for Trinidad. So we have a litany of questions for you tonight. But the more important thing about tonight's discussion is this: we want the people of Jamaica who may have never seen you, engage with you, to learn more about you, to get to know you, right? That's the objective, that's the goal, and that's going to be part of the whole discussion. But first, what we want to do is sort of talk you through your footballing journey. So the questions that I ask is going to be pertinent to each of you. And since K. Roy is on my left, I'm going to start with him first. But when he's finished, Dexter, then you will answer the same question.
Mm-hmm.
So for K. Roy first, which is, and people always want to know this, which is, where are your relatives from in Jamaica? And had you previously visited the island prior to joining the Reggae Boys?
So my mom's side of the family is from Clarendon in Moko and Folly, and I went there 2 days ago to go and visit the family and stuff. And then my dad's side's from Trelawney, but I haven't been there to see any family yet.
So you both your parents are from Jamaica?
Yeah. My mom was born in Jamaica, and then my dad was born in England, but his mother was born in Jamaica.
So you're sort of like a first generation on your mom's side, anyway. So Dexter, what's your story?
So my mum was Jamaican. She was born in the UK, and then my dad's Congolese, so I'm half Jamaican, half Congolese. And my mom's side, they're from Montego Bay.
Okay, so Kira, where in England were you born, and same to you, Dexter?
I was born in Southeast London in Lewisham.
Same to me, Southeast London, around Tulse Hill.
Okay, yeah, I've lived in the UK a little bit, so know a little bit about those places. And I was born in Wolverhampton, but you guys don't come from the country. You come from the city of London, even though I've lived in London. So can you share with us a bit about your soccer journey, from your earliest memories of playing to reaching the professional level? And I'll start with you first, K-Roy.
So I started off at a Sunday league club called Dulwich Hamlet in Southeast London. It's just like it's a team like you go to when you're younger and just play the local teams. And then I signed for Charlton Athletic when I turned 8, and then I've been there since 8 up till 19. Went through the academy and got promoted to the first team this season.
And you're what, 19, correct?
Yeah, I just turned 19 in October.
Oh, so you're a baby. So Dexter, what about yourself, Dexter? You're not much older either, but what about yourself?
Well, me, I started playing football for a club at around under 9s, and it was like a Sunday league team, just local park, and it was called Tulse Hill Juniors. And from then I went to Palace, and then I signed for Palace from about 11 to 12, 13, and then I got released from there, and then I went back to grassroots, played at Lambeth Tigers, went on trials like all over the place, and then at 14 I signed for Wolves, and then ever since then I've been at Wolves, and then now on loan at Rotherham. So yeah.
So that I'm going to bring Andre next, but what's interesting is that K-Roy has been at Charlton since what, 8?
Yeah.
And you have done what people like Nketiah has done, or Rice. You've played for one team. They release you very early in your career, and you end up with a Premier League team. I know that, rather than Andre.
Gentlemen, good night. How y'all doing?
Good, thank you. Good.
Good. You guys at a very tender age, but probably have seen a lot already in your journey in the professional game. You guys are both 19 years old in your journey so far.
I'm 20, he's 19.
You're 20, he's 19.
Yeah, but I just turned 20, so yeah.
You just turned 20. That's good. Yeah. That's good.
That just sounds strange to me. I must admit, 19 or 20. I'm trying to remember that far back. Sorry, Andre. Go.
No. That's all right. And Dexter, you at Wolves, and you at Charlton Athletic. Look, when did you know that you wanted to be involved in football?
I never really knew, like, because I was young, so I didn't really think about it too much. But my parents told me, like, I used to play football all the time. Obviously, my brother plays. My dad used to play, and I used to go and watch him. And I used to love watching football. So I guess I just grew up like watching other people play and taking it up myself.
Okay. Was your dad good?
Yeah, you weren't too bad. He played left back, but he never really played at like the top level like that. So
okay. Did your mom play?
Nah, she didn't.
No, she didn't play. And I'm still trying to get the names right. You're Dexter, right, Kiroy?
I'm Dexter.
No, K-Roy's on the left. Okay. The Dexter on the screen is not Dexter. Dexter is on the right.
They have it.
Yeah, that's what's confusing you. Yeah.
Was that intentional to create confusion?
Nah.
Dexter's on the right. K-Roy's on the left.
Dexter, when did you first realize that you wanted to be involved in football at a high level?
I'd say from when I started playing like with a club, and then especially when I was at Palace, that's when I was like, yeah, I want to do it. Because when I was younger, like really young, and I didn't really play it, I didn't really like it. Obviously, I didn't like start playing it, but I have two older brothers, and then they joined the clubs before me, and then I just followed them, and then I started to realize like around 10, 11, like I want to do this. Like if I could do this for the rest of my life, it'd be brilliant. So, yeah.
Well, that's interesting, because if you felt that way around 10 and 11, and I think you just mentioned you what, Crystal Palace?
Yeah.
And then you went back to grassroots.
Yeah.
And now you're at Wolves. So what was that moment like?
What, the getting released, of course. Like,
Getting released. How did you cope with that? I mean, a lot of young players see that, have those experiences. But how did you cope with that? Did it? Go ahead.
I think it was more like the mindset. I knew that, and my mum, of course, and family, like just saying that, like someone else is gonna want you. Do you know what I mean? Still young, like it's not over. Basically, do you know what I mean? Just because Palace doesn't want you, like doesn't mean another club is not gonna want you. So I was just realizing that it's not over, and that you can just keep going, and you'll find a club eventually, or get back to playing academy football eventually. So, yeah.
So, Kiroy?
Yeah.
Did you have, between the time you started playing and now, did you, in your youth career, did you have any experience that was similar to that?
I wouldn't say quite similar, but I went on loan to a National League team called Aldershot last year, and like I was 17, 18, and I got put in like the men's environment for the first time, and I'd say it wasn't similar, but I learned like similar traits in terms of how football is and how tough it can be, and disappointment of not playing, and just like not playing to your standard because it's your first time in senior football. So I wouldn't say it's completely similar, but I think it's similar in certain aspects.
Similar in certain aspects. Well, everybody have the degree at stuff. Stan?
So for Kiroy first, were there any players or teams that you admired or looked up to while growing up? And if so, who influenced your style of play? And Kiroy, before you reply, you have an interesting middle name. You should tell the people what your middle name is.
Well, my middle name
that's
is...
big shoes.
My middle name is Zidane Loveborn.
So is that from Zinedine Zidane?
Yeah, I think so. I guess my dad liked football.
That's big shoes, because Zidane was an exceptional football player.
Yeah, he was.
But who did you admire growing up? What player or team?
So I supported Arsenal when I was younger, and like Obviously, Santi Cazorla at that time was really good. But looking at the top players, I probably looked up to like Busquets, Pogba when he was at Juventus. But Pogba's more like my favorite playing style. It was up and down. He created, and like I enjoyed watching it and wanted to perform similarly.
Okay. So Dexter, be very careful on your answer because you hear K-Roy said he's an Arsenal fan.
No. Hold on, Stan.
He
I'm
loves
waiting.
football.
He said when he was young.
No. He said no. No. He's an Arsenal fan.
Okay, all right. Okay.
He's an Arsenal fan. He may play for Charlton, and I know he can't say it publicly. He's an Arsenal fan. So Dexter, the same question for you.
Mm-hmm.
And also, what team do you admire? Who influenced you in football?
So when I was younger, I followed my brother, and I support Man United. And the players.
We forgive you.
Yeah.
We forgive you.
And your big brother.
To be fair, the players I looked to were like, because I was a winger at these times, winger, striker, you know what I mean? So I was looking up to a lot of Ronaldinho, a lot of Neymar, of course Ronaldo and Messi, but the main one I'd say for me is Ronaldinho. So if you see,
you do know quality. You do know quality.
Yeah,
you do know
of course.
Yeah.
And Zidane, though, to be fair, Zidane. My dad loves Zidane as well. Like those type of players, I was watching a lot.
So you do have a little bit of your game, even though you're playing right back. You have a little bit of that skill set in your game, so it's a good thing. And you played wing, as you said, so it's a good thing. So, as you think about your journey, talk about any sacrifices that you and obstacles that you may have faced going to your path to be a professional player. I know, Dexter talked a little bit about Crystal Palace situation, but I talked with K-Roy first. Because you've been at Charlton since 8, and I know you talk a little bit about going to a grown-up environment at 17. But what sort of obstacles and challenges have you faced along your journey to get to where you are?
Challenges and obstacles. I'd say like just in terms of understanding the pressure of going into certain games at the senior level and being required to like get a win and perform at your highest. But throughout the academy, I feel like there wasn't too many obstacles because every transition to the different ages was quite easy because like they might play you up a couple of times when you're younger. You'll get experience with playing with the older boys. So I feel like there wasn't too many obstacles, but if there were, like it was just like just learning to be patient and waiting for your opportunity and just not like getting annoyed that you're not getting opportunities or just remaining patient and performing.
Right. Dexter?
Of course, Palace, it's always hard getting released at a young age. But then I'd say when I went to Wolves, I was doing well at the start. Then I started to drop off in performance a little bit. And then I wasn't playing for a bit. So that was hard as well when you're young, when you've been through it and you've been released before, like that's in the back of your mind sometimes. But you just gotta keep going and keep believing in yourself, not being like cocky, but knowing that you're a good player, And I think that's was one of the reasons at Palace where I didn't play too well, because I looked at other players, they were doing well, and I like how they did stuff, like me seeing them doing stuff, I thought that they're better than me, or like all those thoughts. But you got to focus on your own development and then realize that you're a good player and believe in yourself. So those are the kind of the obstacles that I faced. And then of course, like breaking in to first teams and like being in the first team environment again, like I've learned from those previous troubles that you have to believe in yourself and realize that you're here for a reason.
So one more question before I go back to Andre. You're both very young. So K-Roy, my question is, how do you balance your professional life with your personal life? And what support mechanism do you have in place to help you as you go along this journey?
I'd say finding the balance isn't too tough because football is something that I would say a lot of footballers enjoy. It's the place you really look forward to being most. So finding that balance isn't too tough. If you really want to succeed whilst playing football, then you wouldn't look at missed opportunities, like things like going out and stuff. You wouldn't look at it as a bad thing. You just look at it as you're helping yourself for the future. So and people that help me, probably my older brother, because he's been through similar situations of learning how to find a balance with playing football and enjoying life outside. But he's like taught me through it a lot and been a very good support system. So I'd say him.
Dexter?
Well, like Corey said, by the grace of God, we play a brilliant sport, and it's a great job to have. So obviously we're enjoying in that, but sometimes you do need to have a break mentally and physically from the game, you know. And I think just while you're at home, whether that be Netflix, whether that be praying, reading your Bible, whether that be gaming, like stuff like that will just help you take your mind off it sometimes. And of course, family, your friends, your people around you, you know. So just trying to get away from it just for a bit, and then making sure you're ready to go back in. But it's not too hard, again, as Corey said, because it's such a good job to have.
It is an excellent job. Andre?
Kieran, what is a day like as a young professional athlete? If you can share with us what an average day is like in your life.
So I travel to training about an hour and a bit.
Let's start at what time you get up in the morning, what time you leave, a little more detail.
Kira's like, I get up and
I know you don't get up 5 minutes before it's time to leave.
So I'll probably get up at 6:30 or 7:15. Then I'll travel to training, listen to some music, just relax my mind, probably some gospel music on the way to training. Then get into training, have breakfast, just chill out, talk to the guys. Then we'll have a meeting, activation, go in the gym and stretch and stuff, and then we'll train for about an hour and a half, hour 45. And then obviously if you want to go back in, there's sometimes gym, like lower body, upper body stuff. Or if there's not gym, there might be yoga, some stretch and stuff. And then lunch, shower, and go home. And then relax until you got to go and do it again, which you look forward to.
Right. Yeah. Yep. I think sometimes, when people talk about or get the idea of people that play professional football, they think it's just a couple hours a day. But obviously, it's more than that, right? You've got to get to bed on time. You've got to get up early. Get up early if you got to go in. You can't go in. You have a 10 o'clock session, and you're probably gonna have breakfast around 8 o'clock or something like that, or even before that.
No, after like 9 o'clock. But it all does require a lot of discipline, like in terms of sleeping and eating right and preparing yourself to play your best. So yeah, I'd say it's not easy. Like obviously a lot of people think playing football is just like, you go on the pitch and run around and then you go home. But it's not. It's pretty tough, and you have to have a lot of discipline if you want to succeed. So yeah.
Dexter, is it the same for you?
Yeah,
different.
Yeah, pretty much the same. Pretty much the same for me too.
Pretty much the same. So let me ask you. I know Kieran, I've got to wrap my brain around. I've seen Dexter here, but it's not Dexter. Kieran mentioned discipline just now. You got to have a lot of discipline. Are there any other values, and this is to the both of you, that you think is important that help you to get to where you are today, and that would help you to continue to be successful?
Yeah,
I want to start.
Definitely humility. if you go with the wrong attitude and get like too ahead of yourself, it can cause problems, especially with managers, especially with like your rapport with teammates. And of course, like there's going to be a lot of that in football because there's like high profile people, etc. You know, so I think you have to be humble. I think also just being motivated and hungry to do more because there's always people competing. There's always someone under you, whether that be an academy below you or you trying to take someone's space above you who's playing in your position. So just drive and motivation. And I think as well gratitude because of where you are, you know, and it's sometimes we get caught up on our goals but we don't realize we're already in such a beautiful position to be in, you know. So I think those things really.
That's strong. That's strong. And Kirai, what about you?
I'd say being responsible, understanding that the position you've been blessed to be in it, and not taking it for advantage. So making sure that you're preparing properly, that you're focusing. I think it just comes down to responsibility and just using the moment that you have to get the best out of it instead of getting too caught up in the moment and not working your hardest and not focusing and not preparing, all of that type of stuff. I think it just comes down to you just appreciating the moment that you have and relishing it.
And let me just say before I go back to Stan, I feel pretty good hearing words like humility and discipline and gratitude and responsibility. As Stan said, I have two kids that play the game, and those are the things, especially gratitude. I believe that gratitude is one of the main ingredients that's going to get you from where you are to the top of the game. So that's good. Stan?
So it's interesting to listen to the two young men speaking because they're expressing values which we welcome to be in our young people. So my question to both of you is this: who instilled those values with you? Because I'm sure it can't just come from the clubs you play for. And I hear Dexter talking about this to the gospel music, and I have to open my eyes wide, like really. And then I hear about not Dexter, K. Roy saying that, and Dexter saying, well, Bible when he goes home after work to sort of relax. So did you grow up in Hoso where your family sort of inbred those attributes and values in you?
Or yeah, similar. So my mom's religious. She's similar to Christian, but I'm Christian. So through reading the Bible a lot and just praying, God reveals things to you. He teaches you things, you know. So I'd say a lot of that, but then definitely a lot from my mom. So yeah, I think those two.
I would say my mom, like a lot, because obviously she was born in Jamaica, so she came to England, and whenever she's teaching us little lessons, she's always dropping those type of things in there, how to behave and how to appreciate other people and stuff like that. But also, as Dex said, like church and stuff, I go to church, so you learn a lot from there, and they teach you real life values and core values that you'll need in life. So.
Okay. So I'm going to pivot the conversation a little bit. We're going to get back to some of the football element, but pivot a little bit, which is start with K-Roy first, and then Dexter, which is why Jamaica? Why not wait for an opportunity to play for England? Why? And you're doing this at a very early age, right? So some people will try to straddle the fence and delay the process and see whether or not they have a chance to play for England. Why you made a decision so early? You're 19, K-Roy, and you're 20, Dexter, which is pretty young. Why Jamaica?
I'd say for my family, because a lot of my family are from here. Obviously, my mum moved to England when she was young, so a lot of our family are from Jamaica, and making them proud is something that I wanted to do. But also, in terms of like the country and the people. I feel like the Jamaican people just embrace us a lot, and that's something I wanted to be a part of. And we may not have as much opportunity as the other countries, but we can still make history, and we can still change things for the country going forward, for the younger players that will come through, and they'll have a better platform to play at. So yeah.
Okay. Dexter?
Yeah, well, so obviously I have Jamaica, Congo, and England I could have played for, but Jamaica, they definitely showed the most interest. They definitely showed the most interest. It was like my mum's side is
Uh-oh.
be an honor. It'll be a. Can you hear me?
Yes, no, we lost you for a second, but keep going, Dexter.
Yeah, no, it's an honor. I always say it's an honor to play for your country. So definitely for my mum's side to go and play for the country is crazy. And then the future that Jamaica has as a team is massive, I think, as well. And there's quality players here, and there's no point waiting for something when you have something good in your hands already, So
Right.
definitely, yeah.
So in your Jamaican household, I'm gonna stay on the Jamaica theme for a little bit, which is, does your parents cook Jamaican food, or is it mainly the English food that you eat?
No,
And if they do cook the Jamaican food, what kind of food is that you love?
my mum cooks Jamaican food all the time. It's probably like the main thing that I eat. My grandmother on Sundays after church, she cooks Jamaican food. Yeah, man, that's even if I'm getting takeaway, I'm getting Jamaican takeaways. Yeah, probably my favorite food, hard food, definitely. Some yam, boiled dumpling, boiled plantain, green banana, and then some stewed chicken on top of that. Yeah, that's me.
Well,
Dexter?
with me, my mum cooks Jamaican food, but not all the time, Mainly when I go to my grandma's is when she cooks up the Jamaican food and like stuff like right plantain, boiled dumpling, the stewed chicken I like. So yeah, mainly my grandma, but then my mum does it once in a while. And as Koroy said, might get a takeaway sometimes, So delis, but yeah.
When I go to England, actually, in central London, I didn't find a lot of Jamaican restaurants. I had to travel like an hour by tube outside of London to get some Jamaican food. But some of the cooking is pretty similar and tastes the same. I think they import some of the stuff in England, actually.
Yeah.
So when you're in Jamaica now, are you eating? How is the food in Jamaica now while you're there?
No. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Every time we went to go eat, we're ready to go sleep, no matter what time of the day it is. It's that good. But yeah, it's all the good food that you'd expect.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Andre, you're mute. Can you talk while you're mute,
I could, but nobody would hear me.
That's true.
We learned from Sebastian last night that it's a lot of the right food. So that's good to hear that you guys enjoying the food. As you spend more time in the region and you get around the region and visit other islands, you're going to find that the cuisine in some of the other islands is also quite enjoyable. Look at that.
Dexter and K. Roy, he's from Trinidad, right?
Yeah.
And he's always competing with Jamaica. They always come in second, by the way, out of two. So two people compete, they come in second, but that's okay. I forgive it. Go ahead, Andre.
So look, you guys made the decision to play for Jamaica, and I think it's a brave decision at a young age. It's a very good decision. I personally applaud you for that, and wish that you guys have a real bright future with Jamaica. What are your goals? Your short term. You're playing international football. You play professional football at the club level. What would be your medium and long term goals in the game?
So my medium goal is just because currently I'm not getting that much minutes at my club. but we're doing well. So it's just to continue competing for a spot and get in there. And whenever I get some minutes to perform well and try and stay in the team. But long term, it's just to play it every week, win games, enjoy my football, score goals, assist, and help the team win games. And obviously, World Cup isn't too far, so hopefully just stay in the international setup and try to help the team get to a World Cup and make some history.
No Ballon d'Or in your future?
I haven't really thought about it, but you never know.
Hey, you got to dream big. Next up, what about you?
I'll say my medium-term goals. Obviously, I'm on loan at Rotherham, and it's been tough for us, like as a team, in terms of winning. So,
I need to pull that up. I mean, so Dexter, I forgive him. We forgive him, Dexter. We forgive him. Go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, so just to continue playing and helping the team to win games, and obviously personally develop my game in the professional game. So long term as well, hopefully play in the Premier League and come back ready to play at a higher level, Also with Jamaica, as Corey said, continue to play, continue to stay in the national team setup, and hopefully go to the World Cup, because I definitely believe we can achieve it.
So let me ask both of you, what is your best quality as a player? What do you believe is your best quality?
My best quality, I'd say, is reading play and breaking up play and then supplying it to other players. Yeah, I like doing that as well. It's my favorite thing to do. Just tackle people and then give it to other people. Okay.
What about you, Dexter?
I'd probably say 1v1 defending. I think I'm quite good at 1v1 defending, quite consistent with it. So I'd probably say that.
Okay. What would your coach say?
For me, probably 1v1 defending as well. To be honest.
1v1 defending?
Or 1v1s in general. I like a good 1v1.
What about you, Kieran?
I don't know. My club coach.
Yeah.
Yes.
Coach. Yeah.
And
we don't want to get you in trouble in Jamaica.
Yeah, I think he'll probably say the same thing that I said. Read and play and breaking up play and then being aggressive.
Okay. Stan?
So you're still very young in your career. So, Kira, my question is, what aspects of your game are you now working on most? And where do you think mostly improve? What aspect of the game you truly want to improve?
The game that I'm working on most is probably my passing, because when I look at like the best midfielders, you rarely see them lose the football or get tackled. So I'd probably say I think that's a goal that I'd want to continue doing, even when I think that I'm good at it, just to continue working at it, because you can never be too good at something. And I feel like my passing, increasing the range, increasing my vision, always focusing on the pass and the detail of the pass. I think that's something that I'll always look to work on.
Dexter?
For me, I'd say what I'm working on now would be end product. For example, my crosses and shots, even just making sure that last bit is of a higher standard or of good quality. So, like, for example, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Reece James, they're crossing, so I can get to a top level.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the crosses for Trent and not his defense, but I'll leave that for the time. So you say you're one-on-one defending, that's not his strength. How do you handle, Kira, how do you handle pressure before a game? I know two things, actually. If you're not playing, how do you manage and keep your head in the game? And if you know you're going to start, how do you sort of think about it? How do you handle the pressure for the game? What strategy do you employ to stay focused?
In terms of if I'm not playing, I just look at it like it takes a team to win a match and not the starting 11. So whether I'm called upon or not, or whether it's in training and I know I'm not starting in training, it's a thing where I continue to remain focused, because not only will I might get my opportunity, but also I need to make sure that my teammates are prepared, because it's a team game and not a singular team. But nevertheless, you may be disappointed, but you gotta put the team first and then deal with that disappointment another time. In terms of pressure before a game, I pray before a game. I listen to music, calm down, and I just visualize what I intend to do in the game. And when I get into the moments, I won't be as nervous because I've already visualized it and I've seen what I'm gonna do and how I'm gonna handle certain situations.
Okay. Dexter?
In terms of not playing, I'd say similar to Karoy, just know that anything can happen. So you need to be ready, you know, and as well keeping a good attitude. Of course, you're going to be disappointed you're not playing, but just making sure you're doing the best you can to assist those who are playing, wait on your turn, and then take your chance when you get your turn, you know. And before games, praying definitely, and listening to music, and just understanding that you have this opportunity from God, and you want to honor it. So all you can do is do all you can, give all you can, you know. So I think that helps me a lot. It doesn't make me overthink about losing the ball, this and that, this and that. When I'm playing for the glory of God, it's like I'm playing without any holds on me. I'm playing freely because He's given this opportunity. Why would I go and not play myself? And obviously the working aspect of it, working hard, and just showing what the gifts that God has given you. So I'd say that's how I look at it, and that's what helps me.
So the team is only as strong as its weakest link. So how do you two contribute to team dynamics on the field and off the field? And how do you build camaraderie with your teammates? Kira first.
I feel like although we may be the youngest of players, we tend to speak up when we see things on the pitch. Even in training, if there's something that we feel like can be improved, I feel like as young players, you can't be afraid to speak up. Otherwise, the older players will just look at them like they're not ready to play, or they're not ready to have their say. So I feel like it's good to voice your opinion on some things, and consistently encourage and give advice when we feel like there's advice to be given. But in terms of camaraderie, like off the pitch, I feel like older players do really well to involve us and get us like within the team. We'll go out with each other and speak to each other. We'll speak to other players that we haven't really spoken to, because obviously everyone's from different places. So I feel like, yeah, it's not too difficult to build that energy between players, because it's just conversations that are easily had between each other.
So before I go back to Andre, my next question is going to be: we talk about sort of speaking up as a younger player, but how is that received by the more senior players in the team? Because sometimes they believe, players will think that you're young, so you probably shouldn't say much because they're the more senior players. They have been around, and therefore they should be more leaders. But sometimes you do have younger players who lead. So have you had that in your experiences, and how do you manage those situations?
I don't think I've really had other older players say, "Oh, I'm wrong" or something, because I'm just saying it from my perspective, and I don't feel like in football anything can really be wrong. It's just all about perspective. So when you give your perspective, maybe you might be on the bench, you might be watching other players, and maybe you've seen something that they haven't. I think all of them take it quite well, because they understand that I'm here to play football and get better and improve by watching them, but also they can improve by hearing what I have to say from a different perspective. So I feel like it's good to be open, because you get to learn things and you get to have conversations and debates and come to a conclusion whether you're right or wrong. It's good.
All right. Andre?
Gentlemen, it is clear, based on your communication so far, you mentioned that you pray a lot before games. It seems as the both of you have a good, a strong belief in God, a good background. Um, Considering where you are today in the game, how important have your parents been in your journey?
Well, for me, very important.
Sometimes, and I ask the question, and I want you to do them justice, because a lot of times we see young people in sports and then we act as though the parents don't exist, right? So, how important has your parents been?
No, very important. Of course, without them, I wouldn't be where I am today. So, for my mom, my dad taking me to training on them cold nights, waiting for me to finish training, supporting me as well, because they've always been supportive. They never said, like, oh, don't do football. You need to focus. They've allowed me to explore playing football. And of course, my dad, he disciplined me well. He was telling me to continue to do more. When other people stop, continue, do extras, and that's how you get better. And then my mum as well, just always supporting me. Like after a game, if I'm feeling like I didn't do well, comforting me. So
Right.
they've definitely kept me straight and kept me motivated. So yeah, definitely.
Do you what about you, Kirai?
I feel like my parents have been so instrumental in where I've got to. In terms of my dad, my first team, he used to take me all the time. He used to have to pay for subs and stuff. And for them to make such a sacrifice, it's something you can't really repay. And then obviously my mum, on school nights, she'll be taking me, England's coach, she'll be taking me on the trains, on the buses, at crazy temperatures. And she come from the heat, so yeah, it's something that I couldn't even imagine how she felt, but she still did it, and that's something that I'll always appreciate.
Do you
Also,
go ahead?
also as well, with me, because I moved to Wolverhampton when I was like 14, and I was in digs for a minute, but my mum didn't want me to stay with like the host family, so she came up, and like she moved away from my two older brothers and my dad while the family was still together. But she made that sacrifice for me and came in and lived with me, and so yeah, I'm definitely grateful for that. It's a big sacrifice to make.
Yeah, that's massive, and I think that sometimes a, a lot of some young players don't understand, and I know you say thank you to them regularly, right? And sometimes people come along and don't understand that the role of the parents is important. Is your mom role different from your dad role
Yeah,
in
pretty.
terms of support? How so?
My dad would be more disciplined. He'd be more like, you need to work hard, and it's true. You need to work hard. You need to keep on being focused, and then and mom just more comforting. Also, she'd tell me work hard and do certain things, but she also had that side where she was more comforting.
And you need both. You need that balance, right? What
Definitely.
about you, Kira? Do you see it the same way?
Yeah, my parents were pretty similar in the same way. Cause my mum didn't really ramp too much. She disciplined me quite well, but my dad, he always instilled in me, like, I'm not playing football if my grades weren't good. If I didn't look after things at home, if I didn't do my chores, my mum was probably the same. But obviously, mums have that more comfort inside. So yeah, they probably only differed in that aspect. But other than that, they were pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same. And before I go back to Stan, I just want to say that when you all were asked the question just now, if you know you're not starting, um, if you know you're not starting, how do you remain prepared? And I think it was you, Kira, that says it takes a team to win a match. So you're always preparing for when your moment come. And that's pretty profound. I was listening to the US national team coach was press conference yesterday, and he shared similar sentiment in regard to his roster. And so that's important that at such a early age you guys understand these things, these values. Stan?
So I just say this for Andre, Dexter, and K. Roy, which is We're 16 minutes into the Trinidad USA game, and it's 0-0. I thought it'd be about 5-0 by now, but that's just me. So let's say this.
You can't sleep tonight now. Thinking result.
Let's pivot a little bit, guys. So you're playing Canada tomorrow. Give us your thoughts about the game. Have you played against any of those Canadian players before? Dexter, you're going to have your day cut off for you because you can run up against Alphonso Davis if he plays tomorrow. So what are your thoughts? Get some rest tonight. What are your thoughts about the game? K-Roy first and then Dexter.
Yeah, they've got good players. And, I haven't played against any of them personally. But, you watch games and you analyze players and you can tell that they're good players. But I feel like will always be good competition, and being at home as well, I feel very confident that us as a whole team can get a good result. I never really focus too much on the opposition. I focus on the team and look at our strengths, and I feel like our strengths are overpowering. So I feel like it'll be a really good game.
Okay, Dexter.
Yeah, definitely, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a tough game, You can see they have good players, but we also have good players as well. So it's going to be a tough challenge. I played recently against Kronke, a midfielder. He's a good player, but likewise, our midfielders are players, So I'm just looking forward to it.
So we have 5 minutes left because I promised to have you guys here for an hour. I know you got to get some sleep tonight, especially you, Dexter. But tomorrow, so I'm giving you a hard time. But I like your game because I watched you against Mexico. I think you came on the second half of a game, and the winger was having a great game, and you shut him down. So I'm pretty confident in your capability. So, and K-Roy, I see you have some physicality in your game. So as we go into the game tomorrow, I'm expecting a lot of you guys, but I know you're going to produce if you both play. And as K-Roy says, even if you don't play, you're going to be there supporting your team. So what do you want to tell the fans? Because we have had a lot of conversation in these forums about fans not coming out in their numbers to support you. And you guys are committed to the cause. You have played well. We have done well. We made the semifinal of the Gold Cup. You won your group in the Nations League, and now you're playing Canada to try to play in a really important tournament next year. So what do you want to say to the fans who would love to get – I'm not in Jamaica, by the way. I'm in the U.S. Who would love to come out to the game. What do you say to the fans?
No, I'd say come and support. It's going to be a great game, but also it's great to have these type of occasions. With a lot of good players on the pitch. It's going to be very entertaining. So I'd say just come out in numbers and make coming to Jamaica a real problem for other teams.
Dexter?
I'd say as well, come and support. Fans can make the difference in a game as well. So just come and support us and be patient with us as well, because you can influence the game. You may not think, but fans have a big role sometimes in influence the game. They can push us on, give us more energy. They say that the fans are the 12th man. So just come out and support and enjoy, and just help us as well.
So I want to say to both of you, first of all, we appreciate you coming on the program. I think I am pleased to not only have the conversation with you, but I'm pleased about how well-grounded you are, how thoughtful you are, how articulate you are. And my expectation of you is high, actually, right? I've seen your capability, I see your raw talent, and how you're trying to evolve that talent. So I have high expectation going forward in the future for you. I'll be watching both of you, actually, as you go along your journey. Much success to you. Much success tomorrow, frankly, first, in trying to beat Canada and go back there next Tuesday and win that game. But we appreciate you having on. And as you've said and indicated, we hope the fans turn out tomorrow in their thousands to support you, because I know you make the country proud. So thanks again. And as I said before, Dexter, sleep well. You do the same too, K-Roy. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Have a good night.
Cheers.
So everyone, that was K-Roy Zinedine Anderson. I'm gonna say because he has that famous one of his middle names. He has two middle names, and Dexter Lembakisi. I think it was a really good conversation with those kids. very grounded, great humility, great background, well grounded, and it's great to talk to young people who are so fundamentally sound. So you can see the background they've had, you can see the support network they have, and more importantly, you can see the dad and the mom in the home who play similar but different roles, and how they inform those kids' development and how much they have helped them. You hear Kira talk about, I got to do my lessons first before I play the football. And what you love to see is these well-grounded kids who have solid foundation and who along their journey, even when they experience obstacles and challenges, like Dexter did at Crystal Palace, they were brought up with a view that, you know what, you have all the fundamentals to be success, and they had the support at home to do so. Andre, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with everything you have said. The support at home is important, very, very important. I don't think there's anybody that can care about them more than their parents. I think it seems as though the parents have been involved in the right way. Parents can be involved in the wrong way. It seems as though the parents have been involved in the right way, and their mentality seems to be the right one. They've said all the right things tonight. And so one could only think that they have a bright future ahead of them.
Yeah, no, definitely. I love to see that actually. When you have kids who have those solid foundations, they're only going to be assets to society, right? You can see that more long term.
Yep.
They're not in the football get to their heads, and they're both two very religious kids, which is only going to help them in terms of their development, their growth, and their future. So great to have had a conversation with them, and hopefully we can have more conversation with some of the players who come through the Jamaica national team. But what I love is their thought process about, Dexter had a chance to play for 3 countries. Kira had a chance to play for Jamaica, which they're both taken at an early age and committed to the cause, and are looking forward to being part of the national program and set up going forward. So it's a great thing. So we're going to pivot a little bit and talk a little bit about CONCACAF in terms of the Trinidad ongoing game and then Jamaica game before we sign off. So what's the score, Andre? Because I see you glancing to your left.
The score is 0-0 or
So
nil
Andre,
all, someone's, as Harvey says, nil all.
So Trinidad is winning, as in my view, because if it's nil all, Trinidad is winning. Trinidad is winning.
You don't get 3 points for that.
Trinidad is winning. If it's 0-0 for both legs, then you go to penalties or something, right? So
no,
you're still in it.
Trinidad is defending at the moment.
Well, we expect that. I mean, they're going to be defending all night. But the question is, can they keep the U.S. out and maybe hit them with a sneaky goal or something? That'd be a good thing. We want Trinidad to win. So
yeah, it seemed to be quite a physical battle as well in the middle of the field between Noah Powder and McKinney, and it's quite interesting. As you know, the whole saying that football is played on the pitch, right? Not on paper. Not before the game. When the moment come, I rather have quality, but these guys are playing in top clubs around the world, and as you said, 25 minutes in. But as it goes, as long as the game, if the US were to score, then Trinidad would have to respond, and then the game probably gets stretched a little bit, or they can continue down that road, keep it tight, and try to have a different result in Trinidad. So I don't know what the game plan is at the moment, but I think it's good that it's 0-0.
So the game is showing in the US on Telemundo and Paramount.
TNT.
Surprising. And TNT?
Yeah.
Okay.
And by the way,
where's it showing? Where's it showing in Trinidad?
Where it's Flow. I think the Flow Sports app.
Okay.
Let me say this to you. I heard you told the young man just now that you're in America. You're in New York, and I don't know if you ever heard of Caribbean Airlines. You can get to Jamaica and watch the game and come back the next day. So being in New York is not really an excuse not going to the game.
It's an excuse when you have a day job. Especially this time of the month where I'm extremely busy. I barely can get home by 8 o'clock to do these programs. So no, that's not possible.
You get home very late.
I did think about the Canada game though, and I got to figure out if I can get up there. Actually, I did think about the Canada game.
How about going to Canada?
Yeah, it's on a Tuesday, so that's tough. But it's a possibility, not a probability. So I gotta think about it. Yeah. But I would love to be in the stadium actually.
Flying or driving?
It's gonna be driving. I only fly if I have to. So like when I went to
Okay.
Trinidad, when I went to India, and it was like 20 hours in total flight time, whatever the time was. It's not the best feeling.
How long is the drive for you?
8 hours.
8 hours? Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not terrible. No.
That's not
I mean,
bad.
I enjoy the Guatemala game, frankly. And I know some people go to almost every Jamaica game, so I know they're going, right? A person I know named Errol, for example, who follows a lot of football, he's at every game. If I go to Orlando, I see him. When I went to to Red Bull Stadium, I saw him. So he's at every. There's some people who go to every game, actually. We have some people come on these programs and they go to every game. They don't go to every game.
And they don't go to
there
every
are some
game,
people.
right?
Yeah, I won't mention who, but
some of them I haven't seen or heard from lately. What's going on?
I have no idea. I had no idea.
Like Tennessee Lewis thinks I'm scared. There's nothing to be scared about. I mean, it's good so far. 28 minutes in. The game is in the 28 minutes.
Tennessee, Andre has low expectation of his team. Don't worry, he's not scared.
No,
if he gets two, he's happy. He gets 6, he's embarrassed.
No, I don't have. There's Levi Garcia is on the bench, which I think and if you follow the coach strategy over time, I think he would try to keep this game close. If you could keep it 0-0 into the second half, and then bring guys like Levi Garcia to try to give something going forward. And Levi is a handful if he's fit. So it'd be interesting to see how this go. The U.S. is dominating the possession, but I'm not so sure the ball is being used properly. The thing here is for Trinidad to stay disciplined and allow them keep the game in front of them. Seems as though they're pushing a little high up the pitch now, which can be interesting.
Well, the higher you push it, the more gaps you create behind. So
yeah, you create a lot of space, and it's not just space; it's actually dangerous space for the team. No, the space is dangerous space. That's where you can get hurt. So it'd be interesting to see if they can keep them in front and get the game to halftime 0-0.
What are your thoughts on the Jamaica game tomorrow?
Well, I heard the coach said in his interview yesterday, I listened to his interview today, and I heard him say that, Canada, the last time Jamaica played Canada, in Canada, the score was 4-0. And he made the statement that now is not a good time for Canada to meet Jamaica because he believes that Jamaica has improved and is having longer spells of playing good football, not just in between windows, but in games. So I think, he's in training every day with these guys. He's putting the team together. He knows what he wants. So I think he seems pretty confident. Look, Canada has been to the World Cup twice. Jamaica has been to the World Cup once. Of course, Canada have a higher ranking, but at the end of the day, like we're watching right now for 30 minutes, the game has to be played on the pitch. And I think the coach has brought something different to the table, and we'd see. It should be a good game. I understand the pitch is better in Jamaica than it was the last time, which I think will help for the quality of the players that Jamaica have. So we'd see.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, I think the game's going to be won or lost in the midfield, frankly. I think both Jamaica has very good defense and good offensive players, but the midfield can be a challenge for the country. And and they have decent midfielders. You hear what Dexter say played against Kone is his name more recently. So my hope is that first of all, the fans come out and support the team, because you hear the kids mention, especially K-Roy mentioned about make it your home field. You want the home field support. It motivates you. It encourages you. So my hope is that they come out and support the team and help to propel the players forward. And then, secondly, I hope the players play up to their capabilities.
Right.
And as you mentioned, we have some of the players played overseas now. You need the best surface for them to play on. That's what they're used to playing on week in, week out. We don't want to say, oh, we have an advantage if the field is not the most level or the grass is not cut a certain level. No, we want the best conditions for the players because that's what they're used to playing in. They no longer play in, field which are not well maintained.
Right.
And hopefully, if it's a well maintained field, we have the crowd come out, the players are motivated, we can get a positive outcome. It'll be a tough game because even though Canada are having their problems administratively, the players are playing for themselves, their family, and for their country. So it'd be a tough game, but hopefully we can overcome and come up with a victory and then go to Canada and hold off Canada.
Well, at the end of the evening, we'll know Trinidad fate, and we'll have to wait until tomorrow to know what Jamaica is. And as I've often said on this platform, I think these two teams should be competitive in the region. Should be competitive.
Right. I see Chris King saying here that the weather forecasts are not favorable for the game tomorrow. There's a tropical storm watch on the way, so we'll see what happens. But
yeah, I heard about that today.
Yeah. I wonder how that will work out though if they can't play the game. Because they don't have much window to play, do they? Would they put it off to Saturday and then you postpone the plans?
Yeah, they're probably gonna try to get it played the day after, because at the end of the day, the safety of the players is the most important thing.
Right. Is your son playing tonight, Andre?
No. I know.
Oh, okay. Trinidad holding their own though.
Yeah.
Just put the game on. They're holding their own. And they have on white colors, so they look like they have more players in the field than they do. Look like they have more.
It's amazing how colors change your perspective on things, huh?
Yeah. When you have white, it's very prominent, so you look like you have much more players. But they're playing defensively. They're playing hard. And
do you know for some clubs or for some people, the color of the net is important. Some net make the goal look bigger, some make it look smaller, depending on the color. Have you ever noticed that?
No.
Yeah, colors.
Never thought about that either.
Yeah, colors are interesting.
So you think if it looks wider, it gives the forward more? Some forwards, no matter how wide it is, it won't matter. They still won't score.
Yeah, it won't matter. Yeah, I've been to some places already where people would change the color of the net, and I've seen it where the goal looks smaller depending on what the color was, and for some it looked bigger. So there's all sorts of little detail in the game. Of course, there are rules, but there are little details that you can get an advantage if you're aware of them.
So Lulu is saying TNT is playing disciplined defense. It reminds me of what they did in Mexico. Yeah, but I thought Mexico had a lot of chances. They just didn't put them away in that game.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, Mexico had a ton of chances.
This game haven't produced. I don't think it has produced a chances yet. There might have been a couple of half chances.
So El Dane is saying it'll be 40% rain tomorrow at game time. Chance of rain. So the game may play. Rain doesn't stop games.
Yeah. Do you know?
If it's not a storm.
Do you know anything about the pitch? Does it have?
No, not at all. I don't. I assume it has drainage. It has to, but I don't know much about the pitch actually.
Look, Devon Porter want to get your views on how Trinidad is playing.
I had been watching the game actually. I was too busy focused on the kids. I just started watching the game. I think Trinidad is playing brilliantly, even though I watch a game because it's 35 minutes and it's 0-0. Yeah. So no matter how they're playing, if there are no goals, the US has some of its better players here. This is not like the US not having good players on the pitch, right? It has some of its better players. So I think I see, is that Musa? They have some of their better players here. In fact, Balogun is playing. Oh, that's a foul ref. So Trinidad is doing well, actually. Trinidad is doing well. And long may continue. I see Robinson. Now, Trinidad has US has most of their first team players. This is not the team they have in the Gold Cup. Even though sometimes you can't differentiate between U.S. teams nowadays because they're so pretty close in terms of ability. But no, they're showing you the Trinidad coach. He looks pretty relaxed. He's saying to himself, "I can't believe it's 35 minutes and 57 seconds, and it's 0-0." That's amazing. But I'm proud of Trinidad, though. Seriously, I'm very proud of Trinidad. I am proud that Trinidad is holding their own. My hope is that you can somehow get, nick a goal and then take it from there.
So what they have to be careful of is not to get a red card tonight.
Yes.
That tackle that you're going to see, there's the second time he's made that tackle. He's already on a yellow card. I've seen
that's not good.
In the MLS, he's quick. Oh, he's gone. He's gone. Yeah, what I just tell you. He's got to be careful. He's gone.
No, it's a Jamaican. It must be a Jamaican ref. He didn't.
I think he's Jamaican. I think so, if I'm not mistaken.
He's not going to do that to Trinidad. But the coach should take. The
coach
should take him off.
I think he's Jamaican.
Oh.
I've seen him in the. Yeah, he's Jamaican. I've seen him in the
He's
in
gone.
the MLS, I think, and he's kind of quick with the cards.
That's a dumb tackle, though. If you're on a yellow, that's beyond dumb. That's beyond. I'm sorry, that's beyond dumb.
He's on a yellow card already.
How can you do that when you're on a yellow card? Look at this. How can you do that? Who in their right mind as a footballer would make that tackle on a yellow card?
The U.S. coach is a gentleman.
Don't comfort him. You should be cursing him. Don't comfort him.
No, that was it.
I'm sorry.
The US coach.
No, somebody's comfort him being sent off, but don't comfort him. That's dumb.
Yeah,
I am annoyed at him. How can you make that kind of tackle?
It could have been avoided.
But he's up front. Why would you make the tackle? Right? He's away from you. Your team is behind the ball.
Yeah.
Why do you need to do that?
He's going away from you. He's going where you want him to go, away from goal. But sometimes,
all he does is put his team under pressure now, right? You're holding your own. Not missing one person in this team is a big deal.
Yeah, but football is
big
funny.
Deal.
Football is funny. Yeah. Next thing you know, the score is 1-0. Trinidad. Football is a heartless sport. It really doesn't. It defies logic sometimes.
What defies logic is that tackle. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That defies logic. You hear me talk about decision making all the time. Right? You hear me talk about decision making. You got to make good decisions on the field.
Yeah.
You can't
got to make good decisions. So now they have a little more room. They're not very clinical tonight. Could you translate or decode Devon Porter's comment there for me? I can't. I think that's.
I have no idea what he's saying. Me neither. I can't translate it. Yeah. I'm just talking about a rooster or something. I don't know. Maybe saying that you said something which resulted in what transpired. I don't know. I don't get it.
So the last
I think you're. Yeah.
Why would a Jamaican citizen do that to us in a game like this?
Because he had no choice. We gave him no choice. If he didn't, he probably wouldn't get another game to referee. Think about it.
They got to be
probably wouldn't get another game to referee.
Wow, guys are rolling around on the floor like if we're in a war zone.
Yeah, but I mean, I still don't understand that tackle. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. You're going from behind. If you win the ball, you're still gonna foul the man, right? So why would you make the tackle?
Dre, anyway, there's think I'm having some wishful thinking here.
You are.
No, it's football. Football is mind-boggling sometimes.
So you're playing a superior opponent, and you decide to go down to 10 men to test how good you are defensively. Well,
no,
let's see it works.
No, I don't think that decision was a conscious decision. You
have to be conscious for him to make that tackle.
That decision couldn't be conscious.
Oh, that's not a good tackle either. It's not a red, but it's not a good tackle. He stepped in his ankle. That's not a good tackle. And then he's rolling around as if he got hurt. So he stepped in the man's ankle and he's rolling around. I don't understand that.
This game is going to restart at 10v9, right?
At 10, possibly. We're gonna sign off at 10 o'clock. Actually, we have about 11 more minutes left. So if you have any questions in the chat, any comments you want us to put up and discuss, please do so. Just to recap, we had a really good discussion with Kara Anderson and also with Dexter Lambakisi about their footballing journey. Very two level-headed young men, really well balanced, really well grounded, who have very bright futures, and they're both looking forward to the game tomorrow. And hopefully we can come out. They did request that the people in Jamaica, and wherever you are, I shouldn't say just in Jamaica, as Andre told me, I could jump on a flight in 3.5 hours at the last minute and get out of Jamaica.
Yeah.
But if you're on the island, it's not overly expensive. Please go and support the team, because they do need your support, and they welcome your support, and they want to support. So please support the team. It's important.
Your boss would your employer would
Right.
understand. And is there a red eye? Is there a red eye out of Jamaica to New York?
I don't. They're normally probably. I don't know. Actually, good question. I don't know. I haven't been to Jamaica in a little bit, so I'm going down probably early next year, but I haven't been there in a little bit.
It would be.
So Eagle Public asked that question.
Go ahead.
Are there any updates on Damari Gray's injury? No, I know he has a problem. So he's probably not gonna play both games, but I don't have an update on his injury.
What I think the coach said in the press conference is that there's going to be a late fitness test. I think there's two people carrying injuries per the press conference, and that there's going to be a late fitness test for them, not just for this game, but for the second game as well.
If you think about for the second game, that means they're really injured.
Yeah,
the second game is next Tuesday. They may not play either game.
Well, I think they're in there because they expect that they could be ready to play in one of the two games. So
if they're injured, it must be the second game, right? Can't be the first game, which is unfortunate because they're at home. But if you're injured, then you want to not take too much risk with that injury, so you want to delay playing as much as possible.
Right.
So I would assume it's going to be the second game, actually. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's a good game tomorrow. Hopefully we come out victorious. And I'm saying a lot of hope. And hopefully the fans go out and support the team because it's important.
Well, you should feel good about Jamaica chances in the game tomorrow. The Canadian team is a good team, but Jamaica team is a much better team than they were when they lost to them 4-0 in Canada. So and the coach seems to be feeling pretty good about it, and that's what matters. He's got he would have his thumb on it.
Yeah, my concern is Gray, actually, because he's been our most effective player by, to me, a good margin, actually. Think about all the players in the team who play in offensive position. He's been the most effective and has been dangerous in almost every single game. So him not playing is a big loss.
Mm-hmm.
I know Stewart has come in. So, we have Nicholson, Antonio, Bailey, Stewart. I don't know if Bailey's fit either. It's another question.
You don't know if he's fit?
Yeah, I mean, he's always picking up injuries some way, shape, or form. So
he's been playing pretty well at the club level. So hopefully,
I know, but I'm just saying, you don't know. A lot of people get injured in the last game. The coach said 2 players. To me,
I just can't remember the other person's name. I think the other person was mentioned as well. I just can't remember the name. But there were 2 injuries. One was not Bailey, as far as I know. So as far as he said in the press conference. But I think look, it's a 23-man squad, and as the young man said just now, it takes the entire team to win a match, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Demo, yes, he did mention he's a Christian, and K. Roy did mention he listens to gospel music. So they seem pretty spiritual, both of them, actually. And they're influenced by their mom, who seem to be both religious, so it's a good thing. Yeah, I think the religion side and the spiritual side inform who they are as people. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, those kids seem to have a solid foundation, and I think where we need to work in the region to get the kids coming out of the region, to be in a lot of cases, those quality conversations, being able to represent themselves and their family in the way in which these young men do. So, but they certainly understand, and I understand the whole idea, at that age, playing professional football and what it looks like, the demand of it, and how when he mentioned humility, it was good to hear him say that, because you can get yourself in all sorts of trouble if you're not humble, with players, with staff, because everything is scrutinized, everything is looked at,
Right.
at that level, especially for young players trying to break in. Because at the end of the day, when you break in, others would understand that you have the right mentality, which just sound like they do. So that's good. This referee is
Now,
very hostile with his cards. He's always in the game. Sometimes you see a ref do a game and you don't notice him.
right.
He's always in the game. His positioning is quite interesting too.
He's not running much, or is he? He's
Well,
running.
his positioning, he's running, but his positioning.
I'm surprised he didn't give you center half a card away at number 16.
Yeah.
He went through Balogun a while ago.
I don't think he's going to listen to a whole lot too from players.
No, he probably won't take any. And he was talking Jamaica, any back talk. That's for sure.
So it's
Trinidad is playing. You know what Trinidad is doing really well? They're helping each other.
And that's the key. Now, going down to 10 men, what would you do?
I'll do exactly what you're doing.
But if you're the coach,
I do exactly what they're doing. I do exactly what he's doing now.
You're at halftime. It's 0-0, right? Last night I heard all sorts of scores. I heard 10 and 6, and so you're 0-0. You're down a man. What would you do right now?
I would try to find out the physical. First thing to do, what's the physical condition of my team? That's the first thing. I don't want anyone with heavy legs out there who can't hold their weight when it's 10 men. The strategy I'm employing is working. I'm playing, I wouldn't call it totally low block, but playing far enough to not create space behind, not create space between the lines, and actually once in a while try to get the ball upfield. The problem you're having is that if it's one-way traffic, at some point you're going to break.
So it's not really completely one-way traffic. So what about you have somebody like Levi, who has a lot of pace, who could be dangerous. You bring him into the game, leave him high up the pitch. How do you think the US will respond to that?
I don't think they'll change anything because they still have 3 defenders back.
Yeah, but he can hurt them.
But I know, but they still have 3 people
back.
Right,
3 defenders back, which means they have less going forward, right? Which
but they don't need the other 3 going forward. They don't need 8. They don't need the other 3 going forward. They only need to leave 2 back, and so what they'll have is you have 1 less man. So if they think about it, they have better players. So they have 2 against your 1, and individually, if they're better, they should still be in a good position.
So if they have 2 versus 1,
right,
and
1 is playing in front of him, right? They're not playing both beside him. 1's playing in front of him,
so
and the other's playing just a little bit behind him.
8 players are going forward with.
Yes,
and Trinidad defending with how much if they leave 1 up?
Trinidad defending and take the goalkeeper out with 8 also.
Right. So
but the point I'm trying to make is that their 8 is better than your 8.
Look, 45 minutes and the score is 0-0, so I don't know.
Have you taken a shot on goal? Wait, have you taken a shot on...
There's no proof of that at the moment.
No, have you taken a shot on goal?
No.
Exactly. So they're not worried about you scoring, right? They're not worried about you scoring.
Right, but if an adjustment like that, because he has tremendous pace, he can fight. He can fight 2 guys. He's strong. He's got tremendous pace.
So why is he not starting? Why didn't he start the game?
I think it might be. I don't know if he has any physical problems, but I think what I have read about the coach, what the coach have said, listening to him do post-game interviews and stuff, I think what he did in the Mexico game that somebody mentioned just now was just that. He started with more defenders, more defensive-minded players, and kept the attacking players on the bench, and then tried to bring them later in the game, if the game is close, to try to have an impact.
If I was him, I'd stick with the status quo. I would not change. Don't try to get any result except if 0-0 is a good result.
0-0 is a good result going home.
Because if you put more offensive players on the field who are less defensive inclined, and you're going to have more breakdown, that's not a good outcome. That's not a good thing. Because if they were going to be able to create problems for the defense, that's one thing. But if they're going to be on the field, even though they're offensive minded and they're going to be less defensively inclined, I would not make the change. And I'm an offensive person. I'm offensive minded.
Yeah, I think about having the ball and being offensive. But the good thing at the moment, it's not your problem, no, it's my problem. It's his problem to deal with. It's his decision to make. So
yeah. Atal is saying Canadian team is coming in healthy. Yes, the Quia Buchanan are dangerous. The Quia, especially yeah, well, we have dangerous players too. That's the way I view it. We have as many dangerous players as they do. My concern is the midfield. I think defensively we are fine. Hopefully, if Lowe plays, he plays with it himself. Here, Dexter says he's looking forward to the game, even though I think if Alfonso on his side, he's going to be an interesting night because he's a one-on-one defender, and Alfonso likes to run at people and he's very quick. But I think we should be okay tomorrow. I think. I'd be surprised if we're not okay.
Yeah, it's you're at home. You're at home. You're in a different situation. You wanna go to Canada, leading.
We need to go to Canada leading. Yeah. We need to go to Canada leading. Yeah. But I don't think we are fearful about playing away from home. But you do want to go to Canada with at least not giving up any goals and have a couple of goals in your bag. But we somehow give up goals some way, shape, or form. But hopefully not tomorrow. But I think the team is looking forward to the game. Actually, the coach don't normally sound almost overconfident. He sounds pretty confident, which he needs to be, and need to demonstrate at least from a public standpoint. But I'm sure he's concerned about the injuries. But he almost have his full team, doesn't he? There's no player I think who didn't take the call up. So he has his full team. So this is the team.
Look, he's got to be confident. He's got to believe in his ideas. The players must see that he believes in his ideas. And when he spoke about the Canadian team, I think the statement that is not a good time to be facing Jamaica. That's a pretty strong statement. So
yeah, that's bulletin board material for the Canadian team.
Yeah, maybe it's a little mind game he's playing, but I'm sure he believes in his team.
Yeah, no, I mean, as we have talked about before, he's had these players now in a number of windows, and it's a pretty similar squad apart from a few ins and outs. So there's not much excuse.
The reality is he has only lost one competitive game.
That is true.
That's the reality. So
one of the better teams in CONCACAF too.
Yeah.
Even though we didn't play well in that game, but no, you're right. So Andre, I have to go visit Timbuktu because I got to get up early tomorrow. So what are your perspective as we go and try to sign off? And by the way, we may do this tomorrow in terms of the game, but I haven't decided yet. In terms of doing a watch along, but what are your thoughts? So you think about Trinidad game, Jamaica game.
Ricardo, yeah. Ricardo, you can get in touch with Manning's man and let him give you my phone number, and I'll help you with that.
Nice. Yeah.
Get in touch with Manning's man. You give him a phone number, and I'll let you know who you can get in touch with. What was your last question, Stan?
As we wrap up, your thoughts on the Trinidad game so far, the game in Jamaica tomorrow, and any of the perspective you have before we sign off.
Look, the game, it would be great if both teams from the region could get 3 points. that would be a huge statement in terms of the future for both teams. Of course, Copa America and goal and the World Cup must be the goal for both teams, and anything short of that, it's it's kind of hard to accept. But there's a difference. You can win the battle and lose the war, right? So we got to make sure for both groups, for Trinidad and Tobago, from my perspective, that we're not winning battles and then lose the war in the end, which would be to get to the Gold Cup or to get to Copa America. I think Jamaica's effort is a little bit different than Trinidad efforts. I think Trinidad effort is kind of been clouded by the fact that we won 3 in the last 4 games, against Guatemala, El Salvador, and who was the other team? Curacao. Was it Curacao? Yeah, I think it was Curacao. So that a lot of times winning games could cover over things that need to improve, not just on the pitch but off the pitch. So we see how that go in the long run. But hopefully both teams, that Trinidad could get 3 points tonight and Jamaica could get 3 points tomorrow.
Right. Well, I think Trinidad hasn't helped themselves tonight in terms of getting a player sent off. Having said that, I'm extremely proud of the Trinidad team, how much they're fighting, playing for each other. And hopefully they can have a positive result tonight. I don't expect them to win, I'll be honest, but I expect them to keep on holding on. As you said, the coach will have to make some tactical changes to help, because when you play with 10 men, at some point, the stamina starts to go.
Yeah.
And they probably need some support. For the game tomorrow, I have high expectations for the team. I think the team seems to be pretty motivated. They seem pretty confident. They've been playing together for a while now. I expect the camaraderie to continue to increase, and the cohesiveness and how they operate and how they engage and knowing your teammate, all should be good things for the team. And my last point would be, hopefully, that the fans in Jamaica come out and support the team. Hopefully the JFF has had to advertise the game, because when Guatemala played here, I didn't hear anything, whether in behind the scenes or in front of the scenes, frankly, or in the public domain about the game. But I went to the game and there's a bunch of Guatemalan fans there, quite a bit of them, and they tell you that in their community, the game was well advertised and well communicated. So hopefully in Jamaica, it's being promoted, and hopefully the fans will come out. And JFF, if people complain about money, maybe you reduce the price and see if that will, if you have a volume situation versus you have a price at a certain level and people just are turned off by the pricing of the game. So I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. So with that, I will say, everyone who's in the comment section, we truly appreciate you joining us. We appreciate your comments. We appreciate you being here. If you're being here for the last 2 nights or even just tonight, thanks for coming. It's been a good discussion with K. Roy and with Dexter. And we all cross our fingers, even though I don't believe in luck, I believe in ability, that we can
win. Good luck is for losers.
Yes, I don't believe in luck. If you have ability, then you maximize that ability. Hopefully you can win the game tomorrow. And as I said before, we may or may not be here tomorrow. If we're here, we'll try to get a message out as soon as possible. And hopefully you come join us. If not, we all can watch the game and try to enjoy the game. I know the game's at Paramount tomorrow. I'm not sure whatever. I'm sure it's probably on Flow or Sportsmax in Jamaica. So everyone, thanks for joining us. Have a great night. Thanks for being with us. And as Mazzy Man always say, we're over and we are out. Have a good evening.
All right. Take care, Stan.
Yo, watch about dog, SK New Erdis, the body out there, Sniper King I represent for I Am Sure Sports. You get to me, I say, when you want the latest news and sports and updates and all of that, check out I Am Sure Sports. You know the thing goes in. Remember, cover the whole island. Remember Kingston, Westmoreland, Galchester, Orchard Race, Galtigo Bay, everywhere. I Am Sure Sports, check it out for the latest news and latest updates. Sniper King I represent. Where them feel like, ha. Yeah, someone on for the food from young, from we there, you need height. I Am Sure Sports. Yeah, dog.